thing, which is very specifically focused for university students, is Hi, I'm Caroline, I'm a university lecturer. If you are a university student, then this video is for you. It is my 5 top tips for how to study smarter and stay motivated. There are loads of videos up on YouTube about how to remain motivated when studying. However, if you're a university student and you're currently trying to tackle deadlines, coursework, assessments, then these are my 5 top university student focused tips to help you meet your coursework and succeed in your goals. So, let's start. Tip number 1, stop studying. So you might have spent the whole morning on the same page of your textbook, or maybe there's computer code that is just not going to work at the moment. You need to take a deep breath, put your keyboard down, step away from your textbook, and let's regroup and start again. So now you've put down your textbook and you've backed away from your computer, it's time to do something completely different from studying. So you can dance around your room, you can listen to music for a few minutes, you could read a book, or you could learn to do something silly from TikTok or YouTube. Cool, now you've done that, we are ready for step 2. Now, lots of channels will tell you planning is important, and planning is important, but there are some smart things to do if you're a university student trying to meet university deadlines. Grab yourself a piece of paper, a notebook, a fancy planning chart if you want to, and the thing to do is to write down all your upcoming deadlines, so any coursework deadlines, any assessments that are due in, any exams that you've got coming up. Write those down and write down the dates when those items need to be completed by. The next thing, which is very specifically focused for university students, is you need to work out how much that piece of work is actually going to be worth to your overall grade. That means you need to look into the credits and the percentage mark that piece of coursework carries. Now, some courseworks you will do and they are called formative. That means you write them and your tutor will give you feedback, but it won't actually count towards your exam grade. They are very important for your learning and development, but they aren't going to give you marks that qualify you for your degree. The other kind of assessment are summative assessments. Now these are the ones that carry the marks. So these are the deadlines that you should not miss because they're the ones that are actually going to impact your overall degree mark. So now you should have a list of all of your examinations, assessments, deadlines, coursework coming up, and next to them another column that tells you how many credits or how much percentage marks each of those pieces of work is going to count towards your degree. Okay, step 3. You've now got all the information you need in order to be able to plan out how you're going to meet your targets. Do you write your best essays last minute? Is that when you get the flash of inspiration and can be really creative? Or do you need to write your essays a couple of weeks in advance before the deadline so you can have a reflection period and go back and maybe tweak some of your paragraphs, some of your arguments? You need to work out which kind of studier you are. Do you need lots of time before a deadline, or do you work right up to the wire and you do best performance just minutes before it's due in? So figure out which one of those styles of learning you are and then apply that to your plan. So then you can tailor your plan to match when you know you're going to be able to perform at your best. So if you work best a few days before a deadline, then schedule in the time just before each of those deadlines to actually write the piece of assessment or do the coursework. But it might be smart for a few weeks earlier to put in some time to actually research the topic. So not actually write your answer, but get all the information surrounding you so that you have everything to hand when you then want to power out your answer in those last few days. Alternatively, if you like to write in advance, then again make sure you allow yourself time so that you don't feel stressed or under pressure to be able to write that article, write that examination answer in advance of the deadline and give yourself that breathing space to put it to one side, not look at it for a couple of days, and then to come back with a fresh pair of eyes and to give it another reread before you hand it in. Step number 4. Do you need a power playlist? Work out if you perform best working to music or working in silence. I'm best in silence. My little sister, she works really well listening to music. And then when you've worked out what kind of music you want to listen to, you can add that into your plan. Maybe for answering one particular type of exam question or essay, you need to listen to classical music. Maybe it's reggae that really gets you fired up for computer programming. Or maybe you like to listen to some soft rock when you're going through some mathematical calculations. Whatever it is, work out if you need music to help you perform at your best And if you do, now's the time to make your playlist and get it ready so when you're ready to start revising, studying, learning, you can hit play and get straight into it. And tip number 5 is set yourself time limits. You can go over the same piece of coursework for weeks, and it might not necessarily get any better than your very first draft. Be realistic with how long you can spend with each piece of coursework. You might want to spend weeks working on one particular subject, but you need to recognise, are you doing that because you really love that subject, or are you doing it because that's the one that's going to give you the most marks towards your degree? There's absolutely nothing wrong with studying something because you absolutely love it, and frankly, that's why we all do our degrees in the first place. However, when it comes to studying smart around assessments, coursework and examination time, you need to be a little bit practical, a little bit ruthless and say, do I need to keep going through this piece of work over and over again, or actually have I done a really good job, worked to the best of my ability, and is it time now to move on to the next thing on my checklist to do? So they are my 5 top tips for university students who are currently juggling lots of deadlines and coursework. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe and the like button. I'm a university lecturer and my channel is exclusively focused on science, university lifestyle and physics. So I'm here to try to give you hints and tips to help you get through your degree and look for your first job and share some interesting science along the way. I hope you like it, I hope to see you soon. My name's Caroline and I'll see you hopefully in the next video. Bye!